Hello, everyone, and welcome back. We are so glad you're here. This is a new year, new beginnings, and thank you for being here. We have some wonderful news tonight. We're excited to share with you. Mr. Ulises Vargas is here, and he'll be the one telling you about this new venture that we've got, this new announcement that we hope that you continue to support us, you continue to be with us along this journey. It's been a wonderful year and something that he'll get into more details about the announcement, but something that started um, just one time and then just it developed in more series, more episodes, more questions. And I want to thank all of you for supporting us and asking us to do more of these. And I will let him announce what we've got going on. And hello, Gina. We already have some people logging in. Woohoo! Hey, Gina. Hello.
What's going on? First and foremost, happy New Year's to every single one of you guys.
Woo.
This is our first show of
Yes,
2026, and it's already almost February. Like, that's just how
right?
fast time is flowing. Like, literally, next week is going to be March. That's just really what's happening right now. But yeah, as Maria was saying, a conversation that Maria, we've been going back and forth for the last few months, really.
Yeah.
Just talking about things, the possibilities. First, we just start off as just doing some shows about relationships and whatever else, and it kind of just took off from there. So one day we just got together and was like, "So what's up?" Like, things are the podcast is going great, conversations are being had. Yo, like, what's up, right? So so we got together and we want to announce to everybody that we have joined forces um, for the greater good. Whoop whoop whoop.
Woo, woo, woo,
And
woo, woo, woo.
the name of the show, and soon we're gonna have the the videos and all the nice little pleasantries that come with it. But the title of the show moving forward is going to be Dual Lens. Dual Lens. And the reason why we decided to have that is because one of the things that Maria had always talked about was, like, we have, you know,
Oh,
different.
Gina, did you see what she put?
I am pregnant. I am pregnant, unfortunately, you know. Um, but the idea of dual lens, because Maria always was like, hey, we'd like to have you on the show because you always bring a male perspective, and I bring a woman's perspective, you bring a man's perspective. So I took the word perspective and kind of like, you know what? If that's the case, then let's really just have what I hope we can run with is the dual lens, and it's basically two intentional perspectives at the same time to get closer to the truth, to bring some depth into the conversations, and ultimately to bring balance. Basically, it's two perspectives, one conversation, right? So literally, with glasses, you might have two lenses, but at the end of the day, it's designed to bring you one vision. If you're wearing glasses and you're still seeing two, it's a problem. Go back to the doctor
Yeah.
and get your money back, right? So, because the idea of conversations is, I may not agree with
Right.
how Maria feels about a situation, but my purpose is not to get into a conversation and make her agree with me or make her see my perspective and my way. And if she doesn't,
Correct.
there's something wrong with her. But
No,
it's
no.
no.
We're not going to agree. There's things that we absolutely, you and I do not agree. But like you said, my intention is not to, for you to agree with me, is to give you a different side of the coin, so to speak, or a
Mhm.
different perspective, or even enhance, hello, sir, enhance your understanding of,
Mm.
of how right I am.
Ooh, I like that. I like that. Because again, it's really all about if one thing that lens is supposed to do, lenses are supposed to bring clarity. It's supposed to make your vision clear, right?
Hmm.
So we may not necessarily agree, but again, I'm here not to force my opinion upon her or vice versa, but it's to come to an understanding that hey, we may not necessarily agree,
Yeah.
but there's unity even in disagreement. There's still a clear vision, in disagreement as well. So the idea of dual lenses, again, like it's, I mean, the conversations that we're going to go with, 2026, the hope is that it's going to challenge us as the host, but also challenge you as a listener. We're going to, eventually we're going to, get into, politics. Eventually we're going to get into other, even cultural conversations, religion, and I don't know if y'all been paying attention to the news, as
Oh
far as
yeah.
the church world is concerned. But we had that incident was Sunday in Minnesota. We had
Yeah.
a couple of popular TV prophets and evangelists
Yeah.
get caught up in some crazy stuff. So so those are things that we're gonna get into, because it's a conversation that needs to be had. But that's the whole purpose and idea behind um, the show of dual lens. It's to me it's a catchy name. I like it. Maria says she likes it because she
I
better.
I
She
no, no, I I do, I do. I like the idea of two different perspectives, and you'll soon see the the icon, the logo, and it's two lenses, and it's really cool because it's two different colors, and I chose blue, and Ulises red, and so it's good. It's good. It's gonna be good. It's two different perspective. It's kind of nice.
awesome, awesome.
So
So
what are
what?
we talking about tonight? I'm sorry.
So,
Go ahead. What are we talking about tonight? It's good.
without further ado, tonight's conversation, um, we're going to dive right into the aspect of relationships because Valentine's Day is right around the corner, so we want to get into some good old relationship conversation. But a topic that I want to get into that I haven't really heard too many people talk about, Maria, is the motives behind what you do in relationships.
And before we go on, let me go ahead and read the introduction because this podcast is going to be recorded in some of the platforms. So I want to make sure that we give it a proper introduction. Okay, so here we go. Y'all ready?
Mhm.
Awesome. Here we go. Welcome to Dual Lens, a podcast where two perspectives come together to explore meaningful conversations around relationships, politics, faith, culture, and many other relevant topics. We don't always agree, and that's intentional. We believe that clarity comes from conversation, growth. Growth from listening and understanding is built when different views are allowed to sit at the same table. So, welcome to our first episode of Dual Lens.
Beautiful, beautiful. So motives in relationships, y'all. Again, this is a conversation that I haven't heard too much about, but I feel like we need to go ahead and just be able to briefly talk about it, um, because in relationships, motives are important. In relationships, I mean, I believe, and y'all correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe everybody in a relationship has motives, either good or bad. But everybody has motives, right? Some motives are healthy. They're designed to push you to be better. Their motive is to, their intention and the motive is to help you see how see yourself, in a better light, to push you to do things that you didn't think was possible. To the motive is to love you in ways that you've never been loved before. So motives are good in a healthy manner, but also we also want to look into the what I like to call the unhealthy motives. What does that look like? What does that entail? And how unchecked motives, I believe, is one of the silent killers of relationships. You know, the idea is, it's kind of like, my intentions may be good, but it can still do you harm if I'm not careful,
Hmm.
right? Like heard the example of, hey, if you say my car needs an oil change, and I decide to put vegetable oil in your car,
Yeah.
my intentions are to, hey, she needed an oil change, but what's going to happen to that car? That car is going to, I done jacked up your vehicle, even though my intentions were good, right? So my intentions may be good, but what happened afterwards wasn't so great, right? So again, intentions may be good, but motives and relationships, they shape behavior. I'm gonna say that one more time. Intentions may be good, it sounds good, but motives, they shape behavior. So when motives go unexamined, they quietly control how we love, how we react, and importantly, how we connect.
Unpack for me. Unpack for me a little bit more, and I just really want to have a really good understanding when you mean motives. What exact, and if you can give a little bit of example of what a good motive might be, um, and what really is a motive, because sometimes, um, I want to make sure I understand that when you are checking your motives, am I checking the person's motives, their desires, their thoughts, or am I checking my motives, my desires, my thoughts in a relationship? So when it comes to relationships, and you're telling me, okay, let's check our motives. You are trying to figure out what is it that I want to get out of the relationship, or why am I doing what I'm doing in the relationship, and you want to know my thoughts, my desires behind,
Mhm.
um my motives. For example, I'm just going to give you an example. So a motive would me, in my case, let's say I don't want to be lonely. I'm like desperate, and I don't want to be lonely anymore, blah, 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 blah. So I get into a relationship, and you're trying to figure out if my motive to be in the relationship, is it because I love you, or because I don't want to be lonely? Is it, and you're trying to figure out my motives, and then I'm trying to figure out why am I in the relationship? So just kind of help me figure out whose motives am I checking, and what kind of motives I'm looking for. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, absolutely. For me, in my unprofessional opinion,
Oh
um,
yeah, we forgot to do that. We forgot to put that.
no, we
We
good. No, we are professionals. We've lived life long enough. I don't care if you don't have a
there's
degree
there's
or
there's
whatever
like
the degrees.
there's like 200 years between us. No, just kidding.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh my god,
You
whatever.
know,
That's
but
you
no,
know what? That's a podcast. That's a podcast. We need to have a conversation about men dyeing their hair, because why is it that us women, we will dye our hair blue, red, yellow, we wear wigs, we fry it, dye it, slice it, curl our hair everywhere, and oh girl, you look cute, or oh girl, but let's a man put a little bit of black in it. Ooh, you guys will tear each other apart on that. It's just not fair. But anyways,
let's have it. Let's have it because me, like, I mean, I personally like to be in a natural look. So I don't. Once I go gray, I go gray. I'm not gonna be 50 years old. You know, obviously dyeing my beard because I want to look 15 years younger. You know what I'm saying? So
and Gina says, not me, baby. I'm the silver fox.
that's That's we love the natural look, people. We love the natural. I mean, I like the natural look over here. That's all I got to say about that right there. But
And I'm all for the little bit of color. Do I mean, do
so,
something. I don't know.
so would you judge me if I dyed my hair,
No,
my beard blue?
no, I
You
want to
know,
come. No, come on over. Come on over. I got the mix
oh,
ready. Come on
oh,
over. I
oh,
got the
yes, you would.
mix. I'm gonna put the foil paper. Give you
Yes, you would.
highlights. I'm gonna give you blonde highlights. Aquí, te voy a poner
Well,
highlights.
look,
Te lo-
I don't have any hair up here,
We can
so
give you hair. We can give
oh,
you hair. We, we,
no.
we got you. We got you. I got you, babe.
Oh,
Te
you got a
preocupes
wig?
con el
You got a
pelo.
wig? You got a
Wow,
wig?
hey, hello, hey. Do I got it, sir? Sir. Oh yes. You know, I got you. Whatever color you need, we got
She
you. We
got
got you.
see. Gina says that she will definitely judge me if I dyed my beard. Absolutely, I would judge me. If
No,
I
no,
had.
no, no. There is nothing wrong to doing a little bit of self-care situation. There is
Mm-hmm,
nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong.
mm, love
Oh,
Gina.
Gina said, I can help you with a fake. You see, she's got
No.
no Gina and I got you. Gina and I got you. We'll take care of you.
Oh man.
Gina
You
said,
know.
going to the fake hair. We got you. We'll give you
Got it.
highlights. We'll get she goes, she's going to put your order in. That's what she's saying.
Put my
Put
order
your
in.
order in. She's going to the store
I
on
want.
Thursday.
I want the dreadlocks. Give me the
Oh,
dreadlocks.
no way. We give you some dreadlocks, a little blood situation.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
We'll even give you colored eyes. Oh my
What?
god. You would give you
I'm
blue
I'm
eyes.
I'm gonna try to get this long enough so y'all can braid it for me. Just
We sure can. And we
braid
got
it.
Mr. Hold on, we got here Rubén. Hola, Mr. Rubén. Rubén Colón dice, hola, saludos, Dios te bendiga. Dios te bendiga. I hear is your birthday. Escuché que es tu
Oh,
cumpleaños, Rubén. Happy birthday. I went to
happy
school with
birthday.
Rubén. I went to school. Yo fui a la escuela yo fui a la escuela, he was like a year older. Y saludo, Rubén. Happy birthday, happy birthday. Que Dios te
Birthday.
bendiga y Dios te guarda. Gracias por escucharnos desde la hermosa isla de Puerto Rico.
Grado, yeah.
Y si no saben, Ulises es de Puerto Rico también. Ulises es de Puerto Rico. So, Rubén says gracias. Dios te bendiga, Rubén. Gracias. Y comparte comparte el live y muchas gracias por estar aquí con nosotros. Y en vez de estar haciendo fiestas de tu cumpleaños, estás aquí celebrando con nosotros. Yo sé que ya son, ¿qué hora es? Son las 7:30, son las 9:30, 7, 8:30, 9:30. Gracias por estar con nosotros y espero que hayas pasado un bonito día de feliz cumpleaños. So go ahead, Mr. Ulises, and explain a little bit about going back where I interrupted you about the motives and some examples of good motives. So
Yeah. So the biggest thing for me is to answer your question, it's the intentions versus the motives, right? Um, the intentions versus the motives, and so intentions are what we say we want to do. The intentions are what we say we want to do. Motives are deeper reasons why we do it. So again, intentions are what we say we want to do, and motives are the deeper reasons why we do it. So that's why we could say, you can still have good intentions and still cause harm, right? So example, like in relationships, and intentions can sound like, you know, um, I just want to help, you know, I just want to help, or I didn't mean it like that, right? But motives sound like, well, I don't want to be alone, because the motive is the reason why, I'm checking up on you. The reason why I'm checking to see how you are is because I have a fear of abandonment.
mm-hmm.
That is a possible motive behind why you are checking up on your partner all the time, or why you are
Obsessively. You're talking of obsessively, right?
for sure. Being super clingy, right? Like super clingy all the time is because there's a fear, and that fear is now controlling your motives. So my intentions may sound good, my intentions may look good, but at the end of the day, there's something that is motivating my fear. There's something, that fear of abandonment, that fear of I'm going to be cheated on, that fear of whatever the case is. So then it becomes a form of control. You see that?
And do you, and if you can go back to the question, as answering the question, do you have to? I know that we have to check our own personal motives, but do you continually have to check the other person you're in a relationship's motives?
For sure. I definitely feel like you have to, and again, it's nothing like you have to sit there and
Because I was
you
going
know
to say, how am I going to ask the other person? So, what are your motives to date me? I mean, I don't. I
I
mean,
mean
I
I
guess
mean
I could ask that. I like,
but it's the
how would
same
you
thing
ask that?
as what are your intentions,
Yeah.
right? We ask that. What are your
We do.
intentions for dating?
Or what are your
Well,
intentions? What are your intentions with me? Hmm.
yeah, my intention is to marry you. My intention is to X, Y, and Z. So it's like, okay, cool. Now, is what they're saying matching up with the
They're actually.
action? That's how you check motives. So it's like, again, a good example is, man, this dude is checking up me like every 2 hours. He's checking up on me. How are you? What are you doing? Where are you at? Whatever the case is, right? And so initially, oh, that sounds amazing. Oh man, he just loves me. He
Well,
just
that's
so
kind
he
of
just
nice.
so he's
No,
so
that's kind of nice.
concerned.
Yes, that's
He's
kind of
so
nice.
concerned.
What's
He
wrong with
just,
that?
I mean, right.
What's
There's
wrong with
nothing
that?
in the beginning. There's nothing wrong with that, right? Until you start seeing certain patterns. Until you start seeing the motive behind the checking up on. You start getting to know this person, and he begins to reveal, well, the last three relationships,
I
they
was
all,
cheated on.
mm-hmm. Or the female, again, like fear of abandonment, the clinginess, or what ends up leading to some level of control, a bit
What if you're
another.
the what if you're the clingy person? Do you have to check your motives?
You need to check your motives. If you are the clingy one, you need to check it,
Y si
because
yo soy la tóxica, like yo soy la tóxica. I
why?
have to check.
But yeah, why am I like this? Why am I X, Y, and Z? Why am I in this constant need of validation?
Let me share this with you. That that checking your motives is so real. Uli says that is. Let me tell you something. That is something that, as of lately, it's been. That's why I was glad you brought this conversation, because as of lately, I've been doing self check a lot, and one of the things that I've asked myself, okay, why am I doing that? Why? What is driving me to do that? Why am I this way in this particular situation? And doing the questioning, doing the deep dive into the my motives and why do I want to do that, and doing a deep dive. Is it an ego thing that I want to do it? Is it for the glory of God that I want to do it? Is it because I want notoriety? And why do I want to do what I do?
Mhm.
And one of the situations is like, this person said something, and oh, sir, it just bothered me to no end. I was like, I just felt just like just my ego go, like what is that called? That Wolverine. I was like, my claws were gonna come out, and I had to restrain myself. Ooh, I was like, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Woosah,
I
woosah.
had to bring it back, and I had to bring it back and say, okay, okay, why did that bother me so much? What unhealed part of me wanted to react so badly to that?
Mm.
I give myself props because I held it back. I held it back and I just put the claws down and did this and I'm like, so I was proud of myself. I'm like, oh, I'm growing. That's good. But then I had to ask, okay, why? I had to ask my motives. Why did that bother so much? Why did I want to go? Let's bring it on and why? So I had to check because then I knew that I was gonna cross the line and I was not doing right. And I had to check my motives. Okay, why does that bother me? Why do I want to do that? Why is it an ego that I didn't want to do that? And it is just a whole situation that I had to check my motives and there's some learning that I had to do. There is some learning that I did that I realized, okay, that part of me is unhealed. I need to check that. I need to work on that. And I
Yeah.
told the person, you know what, I just need to tell you, that what you just said, that what happened was unacceptable to me. And I understand that, you know, to you it wasn't a big deal, but it touched an unhealed part of me. And I need
Mhm.
to get that checked and I need to work on that. And because that was something else, you almost saw a side of me that was not Jesus. You're gonna see the back of my head. Just kidding. But it was a
No,
growing experience. What I'm trying to tell you is that we don't walk on water and go in the dark, and we're so imperfect, and we need Jesus and we need God every day, all the time, every day.
no, it's and and here's a mature conversation, right? Because the truth of the matter is, and because God's been dealing with me with the same thing when it comes to motives, and I share this with Maria, like before the year was even out, like, hey, this is
Sure
what I
did.
feel like God is leading me to, because when something like that happens, when that frustration or that whatever, like, oh man, like
Yeah.
the question that was posed to me, by God was not even a question, but a statement, like, hey, that behavior wasn't random; it was motivated. Like something happened, and it motivated you to behave like this, to react like this, and that is part of your motives. It's like, okay, Lord, like I want my motives to be checked. I don't want to do things because I'm expecting something, or I don't want X, Y, and Z. I don't want to do X, Y, and Z because of whatever. But it's like anything that happens that makes me feel some type of way where I start feeling, frustration, or I start feeling, um, like I'm disappointed in myself, whatever the case is, because then it's like, okay, so why is this behavior, this feeling is not something that just it's not random. It has to do with your motives on why you're doing what it is that you're doing, or as you said earlier, when it comes to the healing process, and why it matters is because motives determine how we communicate. They determine, we all know that and you've heard it before, and people will always say, man, when I'm angry, let me be. Don't talk to me. Don't breathe my way. Don't even look my way, because I can feel your eyes on the other side of the room. Like, don't, just let me calm down, right? That's what we always say, because again, when you're angry, that kind of shows where your heart's at that moment. And the last thing you want to do is what? Have a conversation with somebody, because you might say something that you're going to end up regretting, right?
Can you
Uh,
judge people's motives?
can you what?
Can you judge people's motives?
Judge people's motives.
Like, for example, when you're dating in a relationship and he tells you the reason he's bringing you flowers is because he wants to impress you in a way, and it's really, he don't care if you don't like flowers, he really wants to impress you. Gina says correct. Leave me alone, please. So can you judge people's motive when you ask, when I ask a guy why he does certain things, and then he tells me the reason I want to do this, or let's say the reason I want to date you is because I'm tired of being alone, and you said yes, so that's why I'm dating you, and I'm bringing you flowers. You don't like them, but you know, you're the only one. I asked 20 girls, and you're the only one that said yes. So really, I just
Woo,
yeah.
woo.
Can you imagine?
Nah, I've seen it. I've seen it. I've seen it.
So can you question? Can you
Yeah.
judge motives? Can you say, "Ooh, that's wrong. Ooh, that's right"? If it's
I mean, you can judge all day. You know what I'm saying? Nobody is stopping you from judging. I just think, as the church folks say, you got to use discernment and wisdom, right? Because again, it's like, because we hear the stories, we hear the man, so and so was the most romantic person until we got to a relationship. Then all of a sudden, the romantic died down. All of a sudden, he stopped pursuing me. All of us, we hear a whole lot of that, right? So, you know,
so the motive was for him not to be alone. So he was courting me. Now that he has me, there's no motivation to continue being nice because he got me.
he got me. That is a very good example.
I'll be
I mean,
right back. I got to make some phone calls.
make put them on live now.
Now let me call right now, sir. I have somebody who wants to talk to you. Just kidding.
Yes, the last person that we called out live blocked Maria, and we
Yeah.
ain't
Oh,
happy.
that's right. He sure did.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, he blocked me. I'm still blocked. I
And
checked.
she felt some type of way about it. Y'all like,
I
oh,
did. Dude, I did. I was like, I've never been blocked before. He blocked me. Gina says, yep, once they get you, they stop. Yeah, those of you who don't know what we're talking about is that, but should we tell them or they need to watch the episode?
no, we could tell him. We could tell
You
him.
can
Go
tell.
ahead, go ahead, tell him.
We were talking about this guy that I started dating. Hold on.
If it ain't Jesus,
No. So is this guy that I started courting and dating and stuff, and then we went out to eat, and oh, Gina says tell it, tell. Okay, Gina, she was there. She knows. So it was this guy. He blocked me. So you know what happened. So what happened was that we had a winners dinner. So Ulises and I, he got some winner. What is it called? A prize and stuff and stuff like that. So what happened was that we're talking about this, and then I start telling them that I was dating this guy, and the reason I was having a heart issue is because he had this thing of going like that, and he was talking to me, and we had a video. Ulises, stop it!
huh? I'm not laughing.
So, we were on video, and he's like, uh-huh. And I'm looking at Ulises, calmate, Ulises. And then he's like,
I'm gonna watch this with my eyes closed because
no. And I'm thinking, he don't know I'm looking at him. He don't know. And then he goes, hold on. He's holding the phone. He goes, hold on, because I don't want to say too much because then you can find him. So he goes, hold on, let me go open the door because he owns a store, and so he was opening. And he's like, and then he has this long tongue, Ulises y gordita, long, like a camel. I don't just like that. And I'm like, but you can tell it wasn't registering. That how the heck I'm going to be talking to you? I mean, that is. So as I'm telling them, Gina's laughing because she's like, they know. As I am telling them, right? I say, you guys want to know what he looks like? and Ulises goes, yeah, bring him on. And I'm like, okay, so I'm gonna go show you guys what he looks like. So I'm going to, oh, no way. And I'm so embarrassed. I'm like, he blocked me.
You blocked her.
He blocked
Oh
me
man.
because
That's
because
hilarious.
he must have seen the show. He
He saw
must
the show.
because he
Saw the
must have seen the
show.
show because I talked about it on the show and then I've talked about it in the private dinner. So he must have well, I didn't know because that's the only way he would have known because I talked about it in the show. But first of all, he don't speak English. How the heck am I gonna know? How the heck would I have known that he was getting that he was well, you know why? Don't speak Spanish, but he could. He knew that.
That's the universal language. Hold on.
He knew it. He knew. He must have known it was. I mean, it's me. He knows. He knew. There's no way. He.
But does he talk with his tongue out?
No. He talks normal. It was just. It helped him think. I don't know what was going on, and I just like, I don't know, but I can't get it. I'm like, I couldn't get over. I didn't. You know what? I didn't like him enough to get past that.
No, that's tough to get. That's tough because.
But he blocked me. I was offended. But how come he blocks me? You can't block me.
He blocked you.
I feel some kind of way. I wanted to block him first, but he blocked me.
See
he blocked
what it was.
Ulises, he blocked me from everything.
You hurt. You broke his heart. You hurt him.
He even blocked me from Cash App.
Oh no, he didn't. You need to apologize with $5.
I was gonna send him $5. I said,
$5. I'm sorry. with the tongue emoji. I'm sorry.
I was gonna send it. Oh, you know what? I was gonna send him $5 and say, "Hey, unblock me."
Horrible.
Yeah. I was gonna say, hey, I'll send you $20 if you unblock me.
Horrible people. See,
we are. You see that this is a
see
wrong.
What I gotta do with, see what I gotta do with people.
Oh my God, this show. I apologize for all of you who want to get some information about motives, but I just gave you my example. This is a great example talking about motives. My motive was being petty. My motive is that I want him to unblock me so I can block him before he blocks me back again. You see, that's talking about motives. Oh my God. My motive is for him to block me so I can block him again. So that's what happened. That's my motive. So that you see, I'm not proud of it, but it's part of my testimony. Gina, she's so funny. She goes, send me his Cash App. she's probably gonna send him $20. Hey, unblock Maria.
He's not gonna understand that. Send a picture of that goat.
You don't know this. Gina's been practicing her Spanish. She said she wants to help me at church to translate Spanish, and she said that she's gonna say "Alleluia, Alleluia, Amen." That's what she's gonna say. She's practicing. Amen, Amen. Oh, thank you, Jesus. That's fun. Sorry. So we went sideways, man, people. But actually, really, it was a good example of my petty motives. So that was, I had to check my motives. If you check my motives was very petty because I wanted him to unblock me so I can block him again. So there you go. That's a good example.
Oh man.
Oh, she says, yes, I'm going to be the translator. Oh, Lord have mercy. That's funny. She's going to be funny. But yeah, Lisa, so going back to the motives question, when and judging people's motives and just kind of go over why it's so important to have our motives checked and aligned with the other person. Like, why is it so important for me to have my motives aligned with the person I'm dating?
Because I mean, again, like the idea of your questioning is when we're in a relationship, whether we're married or trying to be married, we always want to have our goals aligned, right? So it's like my motives, why it matters is because it's like, again, like, my motives determine how we communicate.
Your behavior, like you were saying.
Hmm. It also shapes how we handle conflict. You know, how we deal with conflict in relationships. We all know emotional regulation and emotional maturity. Whoo, we need it. The last thing you want to be is in a long-term relationship with a immature emotional person. A lot of us, I'm for sure, got stories of dealing with immature people and how that turns out and literally like in the first time we have conflict. Situations happen, things go crazy. It's like, okay, so again, our motives really shape how we handle conflict. And it also decides really whether love feels safe, whether it feels safe or whether it feels heavy, whether it feels safe or
Mm.
whether it feels
Can you
dangerous.
okay, explain that. What do you mean? Explain a little bit. It feels heavy, it feels, you know.
Because if I'm quick to anger
Yeah.
and I don't check my motives, then my intentions may be like, I will never hurt you intentionally, right?
Mhm.
But the moment we get into a fight, oh, why you gotta be so stupid? Or
Yeah.
why verbal attacks, and we all know that in most relationships, when it comes to, any type of DV, domestic violence, it never starts off with a punch to the face, right? It starts off emotional. It starts off with a, get in your face, and it starts with a little push. There's always an escalation. So that's just a prime example of, does my love feel safe
Mhm.
or does it feel dangerous? Does it feel
Mm.
heavy? Is being in a relationship, is it more of a burden or a blessing?
Do you think that relationships should feel easy? Should feel light? Do you think relationships are just, if it doesn't feel butterflies and glitter, love glitter and stuff like that, it's not right?
I feel like a relationship should be peaceful. And it's not necessarily like there ain't gonna be no fights, whatever the case is, but are you at peace in that relationship? Is your partner at peace in that relationship? If you can deal with two emotional, mature individuals, it's possible to be in a relationship where nobody has to yell. It's possible. Not saying that if, passions, whatever the case is, but at the end of the day, that the boundaries have been set and those boundaries will not be crossed. Right? Like if a man goes into a relationship, um, if a man goes into a relationship with a woman who's been physically abused, verbally abused, and her thing is, man, I will not be in a relationship with somebody who yells, who just screams,
Mhm.
whatever the case. And this is my boundary. My boundary is, yes, we can get heated. Yes, voices might be raised, whatever the case is, in the passion of the argument, but do not yell. And if you're dealing with emotional people, yeah, emotional mature people, excuse me, then you'll find yourself where it's like, okay, whatever situation I'm in, no matter how upset I may get, if I start feeling my voice getting to a place, then I'm going to be mature enough to pull myself out of that. My intentions and my motives must be aligned where I don't want to hurt you. So my motives is going to be, you know what? So I don't want to say anything that may even come across as disrespectful to you. So I'm going to take a break from this conversation. And then your partner should be able to be mature enough to be like, okay, I respect that. So it goes, and that's where, like, as you asked earlier, hey, should the goals be aligned? Should the motives,
Absolutely.
and that's a prime example of why it should and why it can work. You know what I'm saying? So but it really starts with, in my opinion, it really starts with, what I like to call self-check questions.
Mhm.
I'm self-diagnosing myself. So, am I choosing this relationship or coping through it? Right? Am
Mhm.
I choosing this relationship, or am I just dealing with it? Am I just settling for what I have at this point? You know, and you talked about something that had triggered you earlier, right?
Mhm.
So a self-check question is, why does this situation trigger me so much?
The that he oh the situation. Oh yeah. Exactly. That's one of the things that I asked. I asked myself, why did what this person did just trigger me? And I was like, and that's what I had to. Okay, what unhealed part of me, is dealing with that. So can I
Absolutely.
say? I just wanted to make a comment.
Go ahead.
Is that okay? In regards to how important our motives in a relationship needs to be aligned. I believe that the motives, I'm not saying that we're going to agree on everything. I'm not saying that everything has to be like Gina was saying, light yes, but looking for what she said. She said light yes, but looking for easy is unrealistic. So, and then she said, but we have to make sure that we are not comparing our mates to others. And well, Lisa will speak in that regards. But what I want to say is that it's very important for us to have those motives align, and that's why we need to ask our the person that we're dating, and even the person that we're in a relationship, what is your motive, and just verify each other's motives, and be there's no perfect couple, but be as aligned as possible. And I'm going to give you an example. For example, let's say that me and this person, we go out to feed the hungry. We go out to feed the hungry. So we're both there, we're both great. But if we have different motives, it's going to cause a rift in the relationship sooner or later. It's going to cause disalignment. It's going to cause some issues along the line. For example, let's say we're both there to feed the hungry, but this person decides this is a great PR opportunity. I'm going to take pictures. I'm going to take pictures, with the poor. I'm going to take pictures doing this. I'm going to do that. And I'm going to do this. And I want publicity. And I really, I need all this footage just to let everybody know that this is happening. But then you have the other person, I really want to serve. My goal is to show Jesus in this relationship. I mean, in this opportunity of feeding the hungry. I really
Right.
want to touch this person's heart. I really want them to feel the love of God. I really want this to be for the honor and the glory of God. So you see two people doing the same thing, but with different motives. So what's going to happen if that couple, once they continue in that path of misaligned motives, what's going to happen? They're going to start clashing, and something that was meant to do good is going to start doing harm because they have different motives. So it's really important that you find somebody that is aligned as much as you can with who you are, your values, how how you see the relationships, how you do different things, and ask those questions like Ulisa was saying. Ask yourself your motives. We need to ask ourselves, why am I doing this? Am I doing this for ego? Am I doing this because I want them to think I'm a cool person? Am I doing this because I need the publicity, or am I doing this because I want to serve God? Am I in this relationship? Are we both in this relationship because we both want to get married, or are we both in or is she in this relationship because she wants a sugar daddy, or is he in this relationship because he don't want to be lonely? What's your motive? But if our both motive are lying, like, hey, we're looking for a husband, we're looking for a wife, we're looking for a marriage. Check your motives. You have to do this constantly, not just because you did it once. Life has a way of pushing you out of your comfort zone. Life has a way of pushing you in situations that your motives start changing. You start growing. What before used to be maybe something that I really didn't care about. Now, guess what? I changed. I've grown. Now I care if somebody blocks me because I'm a better person. Now I care about this. So I'm changing. I'm growing. I'm developing. So that's why you constantly have to be checking your motives, because motives is a motivation. Why do you do something? That motivation will change. The motivation will change as you grow. You used to be motivated to exercise because you wanted to look good. Now you're motivated to exercise because you don't want to die, have a heart attack. So you got to take care of your heart. So there's constant changes in the reasons you do things. That's why you continually in a relationship, you have to check your motives. Come back and let's have those hard conversations. Come back and let's talk about this. Really, why are you dating me? Really, why are you in this relationship? What do you want to get out of it? What is it? And is it aligned? Did we begin with the same motives and now we're different? Did we come back and we're different and now we're in the same motives? Just those things. Those things. That's it.
Absolutely.
That's it. I dropped the mic. I can't drop the mic because this is expensive, but
Oh
bah!
yeah.
There you go.
Oh,
Oh, somebody said a comment. Sorry.
yeah. No, Melissa Ashton. She said good
Pastor
motives.
Melissa. Pastor Melissa. Pastor
Pastor
Melissa.
Melissa.
Pastor. Woo!
Good motives
Hallelujah.
produce peace, clarity, and patience. Bad motives produce confusion, pressure, and anxiety, which is the absolute truth. Because here's the thing, you know, you don't fix relationships by trying harder at the surface. Like you fix them by going deeper. It's the same thing with, when you're dealing with weeds. You don't cut it off. You don't try to. You just don't mow it and expecting that to grow back. You got to do what? You got to go in
Yeah.
there and uproot it. So, when
Excuse me.
breathe.
Okay, I got you. I got you. Okay, my motive is to live. Okay.
Breathe, not breathe, but brief. Breathe. So what does it look like when you're at least in the process of healing, right? When you done that self check, and you're looking, man, my motives are healed, whatever the case is. What you find out, y'all, is that your behavior becomes consistent. Or when you're looking at your potential partner for the rest of your life, or even those who are married, is their behavior consistent? That's huge, right? Consistency is huge. Love obviously becomes more secure and not anxious. You feel safe when you're around that person. A woman loves to feel safe.
Yeah, we do.
I love it.
We do. Like we do.
And not anxious. Man, like he says he does, but then his actions do something different. Like, that's where behavior becomes consistent. Love becomes more secure. Communication becomes more honest. Everybody loves an honest person until it's time to be honest, right? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So,
That's right.
And that's a whole other podcast for a whole other time. But communication can be honest. Like I can share with you how I feel and not have this fear that you're gonna end a relationship or there's gonna be drama because of it. But you're actually, gonna actually hear what I have, because communication is not just talking, but it's actually active listening.
Absolutely.
Not hearing. I can hear you all day and not listen to a word you say. Yeah. Right. So communication becomes more honest. We can be honest about it. And then the relationship feels lighter and more safer. Those are a couple of things that I wrote down when it comes to, what it looks like when motives are healed, when it looks like, hey, I done asked God to help me with my heart, to check my motives, and the things that I'm doing in this relationship is not because of selfish gain, not because of what I can get out of it, but it's how I can serve, right? It's how I can be better as a person, how I can be better as a man, how I can be better, as a husband, as a wife, your boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever your situation is, how can I be better? And what I always know and what I always believe to be true is that when you begin to love yourself, like truly begin to love yourself, then what your boundaries are You know,
Yeah.
they, because I love me, anybody who wants to be in my life, they have to behave accordingly. And it's not about nothing else, but hey, I this is how I know that I need to be loved. you know I love myself enough to know that I won't talk to myself this way,
Hmm.
so you're not going to talk to me
Yeah.
this way. You're not going to behave in this manner, because I'm not going to behave in this manner, right?
Yeah.
So there's a whole lot of correlation, a whole lot of beautiful things that come when you love yourself, and you in constant communication with God. um hey, like, God, like, continually humble me, continue. And this is just my prayer, right? When I'm in conversation with God, like, always asking God to keep me humble,
Yeah.
always asking God to keep me humble, always asking God to,
Yeah.
when I'm doing something, like, even when Maria and I talk about this podcast, I'm like, Lord, like,
You did.
check.
You did say check my motives. You did say you did have this conversation with me, and you said let's check what why. And we've talked about this, Lisa's. Me and Lisa's have talked about why do we want to do this podcast? What is our motive? And I told him I want to do this podcast because I want to help women that are going through different types of their life, and we need a different perspective. We need to hear from somebody else. Hey, there's somebody else going through the same thing I am, and they don't have it all solved, but hey, I don't feel alone. Somebody's going through the same thing, and she's navigating life the way I'm navigating life, and she's going through it, and I'm going through it. And hey, Ulises is going through some stuff, and he's sharing. And he said the Lord just pressed upon him at the beginning of December or so, something that we had the conversation that in this year, check your motives, check the why you're doing what you're doing. And that is such a great way to start the year. And I just wanted to read this scripture that came to mind. Psalms 19:14 says, "Let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in thy sight, O Lord, my strength and my
Mhm.
redeemer." So that is really one of the things that is important, that as we check our motives, and as Lucis gives us, his final thoughts on this, but we need to let the meditation of my heart and the words that come out of my mouth and what I am saying and what I'm feeling, let it be an acceptable unto you, Lord. Let my motives align with God. Let my motives align with the partners and Ulises and I. Hopefully, our motives. Well, because we're at different stages, but at least is our motive. Our motive is to help you. Our motive is that we don't know everything, but we want to make sure that you know that you're not alone in this, that God is here helping us through it, and that there is so much in store that God wants to do through us and with us. And we're here to help you. We're here just to have conversations, and that's one of our motives. We want to help. Ulises wants to help. I want to help, and that's why we're here. That's why we do this the way we do it, with our hearts, because my motive is to help. Right? I don't know what Ulises' motive is at this point, but yeah.
My motives. Yeah. No, sure. No, it's the same. And at the end of the day, it's really all about making a difference. And before we even do the show, we pray, and one of the things I usually pray is like, Lord, like, use us. Don't let us just talk out the side of our mouth just because we trying to sound smart or try to sound cool. You know, Lord knows, I'm not that smart, so I need all of Him and then some. So, but but again, like, before you try to change what you do, ask why you do it. Ask yourself, why am I doing this? you know Married, not married, whatever the case is, our motives always need to be in the front line of when we do things, like one of my, and I don't know what I want to call it, right? But it's a situation where I'm very cautious of when people do things for me because I don't know what the motive behind it is. I don't know if in the military we call it quid pro quo, which means
Yeah.
this for that. Like, yeah, I'm doing all this, da da da, and it's like, and then they come back later on. Well, I did this for you,
Yeah.
and it's like, okay, well, if you want to push that, then you might as well have not done it, in my opinion, because it's like, well, what the motive behind you doing it is because you're looking for something in return, and my mindset is if I do something for you, I'm not expecting nothing in return. I'm doing it because my motives are pure. My motives are in check. So it's one of them things, that when we do it, like, God knows what you need, right? God knows you have a big heart, and God knows that you want to help people, and at the same time, we don't want to be burned,
Yeah.
we don't want to be scorned, we don't want to, be used and abused. People exercise discernment and exercise wisdom. You know, we want to be a blessing, but let the Lord guide you into who to be a blessing to. Because trust me, you don't want to throw your the pearls into the swine and they get mad when it comes back dirty, trampled, and but that we'll save that for another conversation. But outside of that, Maria, if you don't have anything that you want to say to the peoples before we let the peoples go for the night.
You sound like a pastor. You
I
sound
love it.
you sounded like
Love
before
it.
we let you go, let's pick up the offering. You sounded like a pastor.
Oh, yes, yes,
Woo! The pastor came out. The
yes.
pastor came out.
We
Before we
accept offerings of peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, Dr. Pepper.
Oh, did you
Um,
hear the I did tell you about the Dr. Pepper jingle, right?
yes, he did.
That
Yeah.
was that was a cool Dr. Pepper jingle. Anyway, so thank you so much, everyone, for being with us. We thank you for your comments, your shares, your like. If you are watching on YouTube, we appreciate you. Subscribe to the channel. If you like what we do and you want to support us, please make sure you subscribe. We do this because we love to help. We love to assist. So we appreciate you. It means a lot. Clicking like, sharing, comment. It's all free 99, but it means so much to us and it allows us to do what we do. All right. So thank you so much. You have a good night and stay tuned. We got a couple of more episodes that we're working on and it's going to be amazing. Oh, can you repeat the scripture? Yes, I can repeat it. I can repeat the scripture. Espérate. Da, da. Hold on. Let me put my glasses on. Let me put my glasses on. Espérate. Oh, okay. Hold on. You laughing at me because I like okay. It is Psalms 19:14. Psalms 19:14, and it reads, "Let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in thy sight, O Lord, my strength and my redeemer."
Amen.
All right, folks, have a good night. All right, we love you guys. Stay tuned next. We will see you next week with another episode.